Alright guys, so in today's video, we're going to be talking about a huge Grand Theft Auto 6 rumor that, if this turns out to be true, is going to be crazy news for PlayStation 5 fans and awful news for Xbox Series X fans. Now again, at this point in time, it's still a rumor, and we even still to this day know so little about the PS5 and the Xbox Series X. Much less, we haven't heard anything from Rockstar about GTA 6, but this new rumor suggested that Sony is in talks with Rockstar to have Grand Theft Auto 6 be a timed exclusive. So like I just mentioned, we are still very much ways off from the release of the PS5 and even the re-release of GTA 5, which is going to be coming out in 2021 for both these next-generation systems. But obviously, the world is obsessed with anything that has to do with GTA 6. I know I am, I know a lot of you guys are, and a lot of people are also curious when Rockstar is going to make that initial announcement. Well, it looks like Sony might be willing to pay some big buckaroos to have the game appear on the PS5 before any other console. So that's why I said earlier in the video, if you're a Sony fan, PS5 fan, you're like, oh boy, this sounds exciting. If you're an Xbox, Microsoft guy, you're like, no, no, no. You know, I want to have the game just like everyone else. What the heck is going on here? So this is where things get slightly interesting, because I believe this rumor has originated from another YouTuber, Foxy Games UK, who claims that Sony has reached out to third-party studios and is willing to dish out a whopping $750 million for a deal with Rockstar. $750 million. That is wild. That would just be the money to have Grand Theft Auto 6 be a timed exclusive. And we don't even know how long of a timed exclusive that would be. Would it be a day, a week, a month, a year? I mean, the details of this are crazy. Now, I'll leave a link to his entire video in the description. It's about 12 and a half minutes long, and it outlines what exactly is going on here. To give you guys some of the spark notes, he goes on to say, allegedly a multi-game deal with one of the biggest gaming franchises is coming first to PlayStation 5. If it's legit and it fits, dare we say Grand Theft Auto 6? If true, then forget about console wars. There's no console war, it's a wrap. Now, I definitely did not want this video to turn into a console war, but I probably should have known that from the start, talking about Sony versus Microsoft, PS5 versus Xbox Series X. But how would that shift the battle of the console war? Because from what I've been hearing right now, on the surface level, it looks like the Xbox is handling things maybe slightly better. Again, it's all your personal preference. I think each console cycle, one system sort of comes out a little bit more on top. Like I thought when it was the Xbox 360 and PS3, I thought the Xbox 360 was a superior console. With the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, I think the PlayStation 4 is a far more superior console. Now it might be flipped. So each sort of cycle, it always changes for me. It's never really set in stone. But would this tilt the console war in Sony's favor? I mean, dare I say, is there a bigger game than Grand Theft Auto? You could throw Minecraft, Fortnite into that category. But is it the biggest game? And could it have the biggest shift in how the console wars are played? Now, let's talk about the actual deal itself. $750 million. I know that sounds like a lot of money on the surface, but it's actually not too far-fetched, especially when we know that Microsoft reportedly offered $75 million in the past to prevent Grand Theft Auto 4 from being a PlayStation 3 exclusive. Now, that report came out in May 2010, where it was reported that Microsoft paid Take-Two Interactive to make Grand Theft Auto 4 non-exclusive. GTA 4 was going to be a PS3 exclusive, but Microsoft paid Rockstar and Take-Two to make it non-exclusive, and they paid them a lot. So again, that is just the report, and the number that was heard was around $75 million. Others are reporting that it's over $50 million, so it's definitely around there. And remember, that would have been back before the game even came out, so it would have been like 2006, probably like 2007 when those talks are happening. So now, 13, 14 years later, $750 million doesn't seem all that far-fetched. to make a game be an exclusive. And that just really accounts for inflation. It doesn't really account for Grand Theft Auto's success with the 5th installment, Grand Theft Auto Online, which does add a bit more credibility to the rumor. Now, all that being said, this specific YouTuber, Foxy Games UK, didn't really elaborate on the specifics of the potential deal, but it's not like Grand Theft Auto games haven't had some form of timed exclusivity before. We even saw this in Grand Theft Auto 4. Its expansions and DLCs, The Lost and the Damned, and The Ballad of Gay Tony were both released on Xbox 360 first. And additionally, the next generation versions of Grand Theft Auto Online will be coming out on PlayStation 5 before Xbox Series X and PC, or at least Rockstar made the announcement that it was coming on Sony's PS5 press conference. So there's clearly some form of collaboration going on there. So just like how on each console cycle, I think one company really comes out on top each year, it also seems like Rockstar decides to go back and forth. In the GTA 4 era, it looks like they were specifically working with Microsoft. Now in the GTA 5 era, it looks like they're specifically working with Sony, and we've even seen them do that with Red Dead Online as well, where specific content will come to PS4 guys first, and even we're seeing some of that now in Grand Theft Auto Online. So this is incredibly interesting. Now, as always, take these rumors with a huge grain of salt, but given the hype surrounding GTA 6, it's always possible that Sony has been working some sort of back deal to secure Grand Theft Auto 6 coming early on that system. And as I was going back and editing this, I just started thinking more and more, like, how many people would be so pissed if they had to wait whatever amount of time it was, a week, a day, a month, to wait for Grand Theft Auto 6 just because they chose a specific console. It's kind of like they're getting punished for just having one thing over another, because it's not like Rockstar and Take-Two Interactive and Sony are consulting all the fans when they're making these decisions. They're just like, no, how much money is it going to be and how much time is it going to be? They don't take into account that, John from New York has an Xbox and Tommy from San Diego has a PlayStation. Like, they don't take that into account at all. And so to a degree, I kind of dislike this because it punishes some people just for owning one system over another. And I think that would make people have to make some awkward decisions on what console they want, or maybe even purchase another one that they might not necessarily play, with the exception of getting Grand Theft Auto that exclusive. Now, if that is the case, that's mission accomplished by, let's say, Sony here, because they might have just converted you into a PlayStation fan, and the only way they would have done that is with Grand Theft Auto. It's just a lot to think about and unpack here. And that's the question that I want to leave you guys with in the comments down below. Number one, do you think this rumor is true? Do you think that Sony is working with Rockstar and Take-Two Interactive to come up with, some sort of deal that gets the game exclusive? And if you do believe it's real, what do you think the exclusivity is going to be? There's no way that $750 million gets it permanently on PS5. Is it a week? Is it a month? Is it a year? Let me know what you guys are thinking in those comments down below. I'd love to hear from you guys down there. If you guys did go to enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new, or you want to stay up to date on all the latest GTA and Red Dead Redemption videos that I'm doing here on my channel. And be sure to ring that notification bell as well. Sometimes YouTube just doesn't work, and if you ring that bell, you'll always be guaranteed to be notified when new videos arrive. But of course, as always, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.